All right, so let's start talking about theming the experience. This, of course, is chapter 3 in the Pine and Gilmore book, and it deals with the idea of deciding what the theme should be behind the experience. So the first step in designing the experience is to envision a well-defined theme. A theme is a unifying dominant idea or motif, etc., or an implicit reoccurring idea. Some examples of this can be seen with the hotels here in Las Vegas. The Excalibur, the Luxor, the Venetian, Caesar's Palace, and even the Mirage. A well-defined theme is the foundation for staging an experience. That is, it is the platform on which the experience will be delivered. With an incoherent theme, there is no there in there. Typical incoherent themes include a typical mall shopping experience. It has a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or whatever is available, sort of like buying furniture on sale even though it doesn't fit the theme of the furniture in your house. The key is building a theme that focuses on the important elements of the core experience. So once again, we need to go back to the core experience. An example would be, why do people go to Starbucks? Of course, it's partially for the coffee, but it's mostly a social experience. It's the Starbucks experience. So you need to communicate a theme with that in mind. Some other typical examples include Disneyland, with its sub-themes of Futureland, Frontierland, etc., etc. The best theming involves scripting a participative story that would seem incomplete without the guest's participation. So an important element in building a theme is the concept of storytelling. And the theme is where that story will take place. It frames the expectations in terms of what will take place as part of the experience. The theme is the stage on which the experience will be staged. It must alter the guest's sense of reality. It needs to integrate space, time, and matter in a coherent way. And it's strengthened by having multiple places within the place. And it should fit the identity and the entity staging the experience. As I always like to say, let's not try to be something we are not. Let's not try to be some sort of a family resort experience when in fact we are not. A good example might be a classic business school and a modern business school. Harvard tries to create what is called a classic business school experience, while Wharton focuses on a more modern, state-of-the-art business school experience. Harvard uses a traditional case study approach to study business. It's based on the idea that the best way to learn about business is to study past business issues, problems, and decisions that have been made. Everything about Harvard is designed to deliver a classic business school experience, including the curriculum and the pedagogy and the buildings and the faculty, and the settings, etc., etc. They are producing a classic business school experience and classic business executives with a strong understanding of how to solve problems and synthesize information. Wharton, on the other hand, is more of a modern contemporary business school. Wharton uses a more modern experiential approach to learning about business, which includes guest speakers, live projects, applying new ideas, etc. Their buildings are new and being updated constantly and are a little bit techy. The curriculum is constantly changing. They have the goal of producing a modern business school experience and producing modern business executives. Two schools doing a great job with different theming approaches. How about the Lee Business School at UNLV? What do you think our theme is? Here you see a picture of our building and, of course, a picture of one of our classrooms. We at the Lee Business School probably haven't spent enough time thinking about this and how this should be done. However, I do want you to understand that we are constantly revising our curriculum and trying to make improvements to the school. And in fact, I would argue that our curriculum is one of the most modern curriculums among business schools in the country. Remember, themes need to be concise and compelling. Do not get sidetracked. Focus on the core experience. The theme, though, has to be interesting, entertaining, and add value to the experience. Themes are not corporate mission statements. Themes need to drive all of the design elements. And of course, themes should engage the five senses. That is, that they should have depth and breadth to them. Taste, touch, sight, smell, and hearing. This is the idea of a multidimensional versus flat or two-dimensional theme. Part of the idea of theming are the cues, and this is how we are going to signal our theme and the experience to our guests. Some of the cues include the time, space, technology, authenticity, sophistication, scale, and people. And each of these cues help to provide the keys to presenting the theme to our guests. Some examples, for instance, might include the people at famous Karl Rosch's German restaurant in Milwaukee. There are two basic areas of design for designing themes. One are what we call the mechanics, that is, the things that make the theme come to life. That is the architecture, the layout, the hardscapes, and of course the story behind the theme. And then the other element are the people involved. These are the humanics, the people that make the theme and the story come to life. These are the people that are interacting with our customers. The cues must support the theme and be very consistent. You need to focus on the key senses. So an example of this was demonstrated at Cantor's Deli, formerly at Tivoli Village in Summerlin. It has closed recently, and one of the reasons that it was not successful is that it really didn't present the right cues. It didn't really present the Cantor's experience from Los Angeles. So what should Cantor's Deli look, sound, smell, feel, and taste like? Of course, Cantor's Deli is a very traditional, well-known deli on Fairfax in LA. Well, it should provide the notion of a traditional deli. What does that include? Well, obviously it includes deli sandwiches, meats, desserts, all the sorts of things that you would expect to see when you walk into a traditional deli on Fairfax Avenue in Los Angeles. One other note for themes, a rule of thumb for spotting a bad design, whenever instructions are needed or posted. So if we have to explain the theme, it's not a good theme. Another notion about themes is memorabilia. Sell it, give it away, or include it in the price. It helps to promote the experience, remember the experience, and tell the experience's story. The transition to an experience-based organization is crucial. If you sell first companies sell a good or a service. Then eventually they give away the experience to sell the existing good or service. An experientially based organization sells the experience and gives away the good or service. That means an admission fee. So think of tuition as an admission fee. Think of a green fee as an admission fee. Think of the price that you pay for a car as an e-ticket for a ride. Think about the added price that you pay at a high-end restaurant as an admission fee to experience that restaurant. Ask yourself, what would you do differently if you charged admission? Think about how you would change. Think about how the customer's expectations would change. That's all about the notion of an experience-based organization. Think about engaging customers within a theme. Think about things that you might do to engage customers. You might get customers engaged in making something, in playing games, contests, and challenges, in food and drink events, and other sorts of special events, or some other way of interacting with them. That is engaging the customers in the experience. So the game plan for theming and experience: specify the core experience. What are participants paying for? What will the theme be? Justification. Can you tell the story in 2 sentences? What will the design elements be? What will the cues be? What memorabilia will you have and will you distribute? How will the guests interact with the experience? When they leave, what will they be talking about? What memories will they have? That's all about the experience.